doctors have been talking about supplements that I take, what they've been doing for me, vitamins and supplements, and I'm leading by doing a disclaimer saying I'm not a doctor, okay? So me talk about what supplements have been doing for me, it's not telling other people they should be doing, okay? So, an opportunity to teach the truth on the power of supplements and how effective they can be. So it's not just that since I had like a journey, learning more and more about how to improve my health, fitness, mental, physical health, fitness. And but one of the things that made the biggest difference for me is supplementation, okay, proper supplementation, getting things dialed in. Start only have I noticed great improvement in my mental, physical health and well-being, and I have autism, okay, and a lot of people with autism are big pharma drugs because they have stress and anxiety, and if you got autism, like then stress and anxiety problems and things like this. So that's the point. Like mood swings and stuff. Now, I'm not even going to get into being harassed and people working to push my buttons. That's the point. Not only did I notice a great improvement from getting on the right types of amounts of supplements in terms of my mental, physical health and performance, and improvement in like anxiety, okay, which I've had a lot of, too much of in my life, anxiety and stress and things like this, and emotional volatility and things like this. Not only did I notice the contrast by getting everything dialed in, it's like, do you understand? It's like I wasn't making lots of vitamin C for many years. Once I started making lots of vitamin C on the regular daily, noticing the improvement in my allergies, asthma, energy levels, just overall mental, physical health and well-being. And then it's like adding this other supplement, okay, that is like add a take a B complex, okay, and then dialing in the amounts of per se. I take 3 B complex tablets per day, not one. So it's like getting 3 per day is a certain effect. Yeah. So over time, it's like adding more supplements and then dialing in the dosage. It has given me great improvement in stress, anxiety, emotional volatility improvements, and so this. Now here's the thing. I used to suffer from panic attacks for many years and killed myself for that. I also used to suffer from asthma attacks and could throw away my mental inhaler and not get asthma attacks anymore. I've improved my allergies, and I will get asthma attacks in response to exposed allergens. And now at worst, I get a little bit like, I can feel like a little bit harder to breathe if I smell something, feel which I'm allergic to, but it's not like a full asthma attack it used to be. So I've seen great improvement in my mental physical health from supplementation. Getting supplementation dialed in, okay, it's not smelling like that's orange juice per day. That's not the vitamin C level type of amount, but it's multi-gram amounts of vitamin C you've been taking. So not only have I noticed the difference, do you understand? Like a person who's fat and not exercising, if they start exercising and start losing weight, I'm like, wow, I feel a lot more energetic, I just feel better and clear mentally. Do you understand? It's like making changes. You can notice the difference from the baseline, how you feel, like the excited levels. Then it's like you start taking vitamin C, I start taking vitamin C, and I'm always not feeling better, feel sharper, mental, feel clearer. Add another supplement, niacinamide, vitamin B3. Dial in the dose, okay, here's how much I need to have good effect. So it's not just the improvement from supplements, it's like I'm taking these supplements this much daily, and then notice why it's really a big difference. Contrast a bit to the baseline before. But it's also when it happens that I ran out, which happens now then, unfortunately, that I run out of supplements. And I mean, I run out, okay. It's like supplements that I normally take every day. I run out of them. And like now, and it's about what? Around 10 days. I take it next disability paycheck for autism. Then I ran out of niacinamide. I have, I think, 1 magnesium capsule left, and I've been taking less than that for a few days to kind of stretch it out. I've been out of ashwagandha for around a week now. Not taking ashwagandha for about a week. And I'll say an intake a little bit less to not run out. I have a supplement that I take that has both L-theanine and GABA in it, GABA. So my point is this. This happens a lot of times towards the end of the month or towards the point in time where it's like I'm getting the next disability paycheck, I'll get a paycheck. And it's like I notice the difference. So my point is this. Earlier tonight, after being outside, which a lot of times is like a trick for stress. Like a lot of times, if you have a sleepless night, it's after going downtown shopping, and it's like I get overstimulated. Like the whole thing, like the allergens, and then just it's like stressful. And that's part of how the autism affects me, where it's like the certain things get like bound up, and then sometimes if I get bound up, I stay bound up for a long time. So a lot of times if I have a night where I don't fall asleep, it's after having been downtown shopping, and it gets me wound up, and then sometimes it's like the night after coming home from the supermarket. That's when I'm like fired up and like wound up and end up being up on that. So anyway, that's the point. Earlier tonight I was crashing out, okay? Meaning it's like I was live exercising and ended up like really crashing out, okay? Losing my temper. And that's usually people harass me to chat an opportunity. My point is this, kind of analyze things. So earlier tonight I was exercising and I had several streams and I was really crashing out. So I'm like kicking away and it's like casting it and stuff. And it's like noticing that kind of when I calmed down, it's like, wow, I was really kind of worked up tonight. Okay. See, if it doesn't say it, I was like looking back, it's like, wow, I really was worked up. Well, you gotta pull these strings, okay, too hard for you to. Okay. Now, if I play detective, it's pattern breaking. It's like, it's been quite a few weeks until I had a night like that, where it's like I'm crashing out like that, and I'm kicking stuff, and then kind of meltdown mode, okay? Oh, and what preceded that? Not taking niacinamide vitamin B3 for more than 3 days, the last 3 days. See? Not taking ashwagandha for a week leading up to tonight. See? Which normally I take daily. So not taking ashwagandha for around a week leading up to tonight when I was crashing out and kind of like, wow, I really lost it tonight on myself. Not taking niacinamide for at least 3 days, okay? But normally, personally, I take around 3,000 milligrams of niacinamide. That's my baseline daily amount. 3,000 milligrams of niacinamide. And it is one of these things where it's like you talk to people, when I talk about supplements, that are not like in the know. Some people are so like paranoid about supplements that some of the words sound scary, like niacinamide. Okay, it sounds like niacinamide, aka vitamin B3, which is a common ingredient in B complex supplements at a much lower level than the standalone B3. It's kind of like ascorbic acid. If I tell people, yeah, I'm pouring ascorbic acid into my water here, they might sound like, what the hell, this guy's crazy. But it's like aka vitamin C. So ascorbic acid is the science name, I like to call it, for vitamin C. Kind of like water, aka H2O. Okay. So anyways, the point. It's not just that I've noticed that the difference, being autistic, and I'm also being harassed, okay? So it's not just the internal environment, but it's external stressors, okay? In combination with being more strongly affected by stressors, certain types of amounts, okay? So that's the point. So it's not just that the contrast, now I'm teaching, okay, from experience, it's not just that the contrast, like from years back, maybe being 20, okay, let's say when I was 20, and I wasn't taking multi-gram amounts of vitamin C every day. I wasn't taking niacinamide, okay, like getting less than 500 milligrams of niacinamide per day. Not taking 3B complex tablets per day. Not taking ashwagandha, methionine, and magnesium, and D3K2, okay, and then these supplements that I take now on the daily. It's like, oh, how much anxiety I would have, and social anxiety, and like even to the point being diagnosed like social phobia and stuff. But anyway, it's important. So it's not just the difference, like looking back, so before I started taking supplements, okay, how much anxiety I would have in my life. And then looking at, it's like, after getting supplementation done. It's like, wow, I have a lot less stress and anxiety in my life. More nights of good sleep, less sleepless nights per month, more energy, less anxiety. And I get to a point where everything I've been doing, my lifestyle, where I end up not having panic attacks anymore, which I was suffering for many years. Okay? And just like crawling like a skin level anxiety throughout the day. And I don't have that anymore. It's not like it used to be. I wake up in the morning like I'm stressed and anxious and then stay that way all day. Okay? Which is how my life has been for 74 years of time. That's the point. It's not just that the difference, contrasting, it's like how much worse I would feel mentally and physically with like allergies, asthma. So that would be more physical if you want to categorize it. It's like allergies and asthma. How much worse they would be before I got everything done, and anxiety and stress, things like this. So it's a big difference. So it's like you can notice like the difference in how I would feel before I started taking vitamin C. The difference in how I would feel, like seriously, before adding niacinamide, vitamin B3 to my supplement protocol, my process supplement protocol, and ashwagandha. Okay, it's like everything I've been adding, like getting to a point where it's like it's a big difference. It's just how I feel, not that physical, a positive difference. But it also happens that I run out. Okay, run low, run out. So it happens quite a lot of times. Like towards the time of the month, I get my disability paycheck usually around the 19th. Okay, 19th, 1-9, okay. So around there. And a lot of times, when it's getting close to the 19th, I've been running low on certain supplements and have run out of some of them. And sometimes it happens that I'm really noticing the difference. So playing detective is like, what is it? Tonight I was crashing out. I noticed how I was really more volatile. And it also looking back a bit, what was like 6-7 days ago, I was like extra volatile. I had another night where like I'm all day where I'm really like crashing out, like more so than the baseline. And what preceded that? Okay, so earlier today I had the pulsar genes guys crashing out too hard in my machines, like raging. Okay. What led up to that night where I was raging, and that hasn't happened for weeks. I'm like raging to that level. Oh, I hadn't been taking vitamin B3 for 3+ days leading up to that. I hadn't been taking ashwagandha for around a week leading up to that. See, which normally I take every day, vitamin B3 and ashwagandha. I had been out of vitamin C. Well, I had been low on vitamin C and rationing it up until yesterday when I went to buy vitamin C in the supermarket. Okay, so less vitamin C, no niacinamide B3, and no ashwagandha leading up to that. And less magnesium. I have one magnesium capsule left, but I've been rationing it, so normally I take 3 of the capsules per day of the magnesium supplement that I have. And I've been taking a little bit less. So there's a huge difference on this. I'm reminded in how potent, how powerful supplements are. Not just by the difference when I started taking, like, okay, adding niacinamide B3. It's like after already for years mega dose of vitamin C. After adding vitamin B3 niacinamide at serious, like significant enough, okay, and high enough level. Noticing the difference, adding ashwagandha to my supplement regime, noticing the difference. Positive difference. Like, oh, I have less anxiety, I feel better, I got my diet, nutrition down, and also cutting down sugar and stuff. But it's also when it happens that I ran out of something. There's like, oh, I notice the difference. It's like I've been more stressed, more anxious, more irritable. And what led up to me noticing that I've been more irritable and anxious and like angry recently. Not taking this supplement that I'm taking right that one. Okay. So, proper supplementation is very powerful. Supplements are very powerful. So, I used to be on antidepressants. As a young man, before I got diagnosed with autism, I got diagnosed with social phobia and depression, like general high anxiety, and got prescribed antidepressants, okay, SSRIs. I was on it for many years before getting off them, and it's more than 6 years ago that I got off them. Okay, and I'm not depressed anymore. Okay, I used to suffer panic attacks. Don't have that anymore. I also used to have asthma attacks. Don't have those anymore. So I've seen great improvement in my mental physical health. And one of the things that made the biggest difference for me is supplementation, getting my supplement regime dialed in. So there's been like a journey where it's like I got serious with the most important one, vitamin C. But it was still like mega dose vitamin C. Took a while until I added vitamin B3 niacinamide at serious levels to my supplement regime. And then magnesium at figuring out what type and amount of magnesium and getting that out. And ashwagandha and other things. So proper supplementation, is one of the things that made the biggest difference for me, for my physical mental health. Also, cutting down on sugar. Okay. So my point is this: I'm reminded sometimes at how much improvement I had from supplementation when I ran out of the supplements for a few days. And it's kind of like you get closer to how you understand that. Yeah, supplements have helped me greatly. And I'm looking forward to God willing, be able to make another bulk supplement order within 7 days and get it delivered. So I'm gonna finish up. This is gonna be end the video. And I thought it was useful to, like, if you're having some negative things, a lot of severe lesson, it could be some kind of purpose. Where it's like, oh yeah, I'm not happy. I was crashing out. I kind of lost, and I had to pull some strings because I got to leave it. Now I'm thinking about this. It's like, yeah, this is an opportunity to talk to people about things that have helped me with stress and anxiety, and like how powerful supplements have been for me. So I'm gonna finish up, and nothing I said is usually taken as medical advice information, and it's not intended to replace the care advice physician. Just talk about what I'm doing and my experience and stuff. Okay, so talk to the doctor before starting to take any supplements or medications. Talk to the doctor before starting to stop taking supplements or medications. So I get ready to break my fast with the 2-med meal. I once said OMED meal, I'm just saying that. I do OMED fast, I do that for around 5 years. And at least 300 or 365 days per year do I eat only one time per day. And on a rare occasion, I eat more than one time. And most of the time, it's going to be 2 times. The rare occasion I eat more than once, it's usually 2. So I'm getting ready to have the second meal, okay, doing 2-med today. So I'll be eating 2 times in 24 hours rather than the typical 1. So that concludes the live stream. And I hope people felt that was interesting. You should really, okay. For me to talk about things that I've been doing, and yeah. So, what are my favorite supplements? What are supplements I take normally? Okay, I'm not talking about right now. Now. Vitamin C, magnesium, D3K2, omega-3 fish oil, like take ashwagandha, L-theanine, and this L-theanine supplement sort of taken that has GABA in it as well. B complex, I take around 3 B complex tablets per day. Not 3 at a time, but spread out like that. I also like amino acids, like creatine and glutamine. But I've had to kind of budget and remove some of the supplements that I used to buy on a monthly basis and take them out. The body reasons. So I'm gonna finish up and I'm gonna break my fast not too long from now. Let's burn the video. And if you're autistic and also this, or you just have anxiety or some kind of, you feel like you got too much stress, anxiety, sleeping problems, you got mental and physical health problems, you might be interested in my videos where I talk about health, fitness, and things like this. So this will be in the video.